Okay, so for number 3, the first thing you have to do, or the first thing I do, is plug in each number in the interval, or each one of the interval, into the original equation. So just to save time, after plugging in -4, I got -4, -1, and after plugging in 0, I got 0, 3. So the next thing you do is take the derivative, so it'd be 3x squared plus 12x plus 9. So to factor that out, you factor out a 3, and then it factors into x plus 3 and x plus 1. So the x coordinates would be 0, -3, and -1. So now what you have to do is you create a line, number line. So let's make 0 over here, -1 over here, and -3 over here. So the numbers I'm going to choose is -4, -2, and -1/2, and 1. Okay? So now all we're looking for is sign, or the sign. So if I plug in -4 to the first equation, I get a negative. The second equation, I get a negative. Yeah, a negative. For the second one, I get a positive and then a negative. For these, I get both positives right here. So that would mean that the slope goes up, then down, and then it comes from going down, then back up again. And this one would be up all the way, or going positive all the way. So that would mean that this last portion has no max or min. And this one would be a max, and this one would be a min. Okay? So now I'm going to erase this number line. Let's erase this. Okay. Okay. So now that I know that -3 and -1 are the numbers that give me the max and the min, I will plug it into the original equation again. And again, just to save time, I plot the points at -3, 3, and -1, and 1. I'm sorry, this is a -1. Okay, so the next thing we do is just plot which one's min and which one's max. So the absolute minimums are... Okay, so number 5 was the hardest one, and I got stuck on this one. So to plug it in first, you would get, for the first one, your coordinates would be, 3, and then, let's see, 3 squared is 9 divided by 9 minus 3, so 9 divided by 3, or 9 minus 6, sorry. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. And then for the second coordinates, 6 squared is 36, divided by 18 minus 6, which would be 12. So 36 divided by 12 is 3. So 6 and 3. So the next thing you do is take the derivative, which would be the quotient rule, which is f prime times g minus f times g prime all over g squared. So that would mean that the first one would be 2x times 3x minus 6 minus x squared times 3 all over 3x minus 6 squared. So if we simplify this, it would be 6x squared minus 12x minus 3x squared all over 3x minus 6 squared. Oops, squared. Okay, so I erased everything and rewrote it in the top corner so I don't forget. So if I simplify it even more, it would be 3. Okay, so if I simplify it, it'll be 3x squared minus 12x all over 3x minus 6 squared. Okay, so this is the point where I get confused because I don't know how to simplify this even more, but I'll just take a guess. So I would factor out 3x, which would make it x minus 4 over, let's see, 3x minus 6 squared. So now what I would do is I would bring up the last part, so it'd be 3x times x minus 4 times 3x minus 6 negative 2. So now if I try and solve for the x, it would be x equals 0, 4, and 2. Okay, so now I would plot it on the number line. So the number line would have 0, 2, and 4. So the numbers I would choose would be -1, 1, 3, and 5. So if I plug in -1 to the first one, it would make it a negative. And if I plug it into the second one, it would make it another negative. And if I plug it into the third one, it would be another negative. If I plug 1 in, it would be a positive, and a negative, and a negative, and then 3 would be a positive, and then a negative, and then a positive, and then 5 would be positive, positive, and positive. Okay, so now that I have that, okay, so that would make this part a negative at the bottom, a positive, a negative, and then a positive. So it would go down, up, and then it'd go from up, down, and then it'd go from down, up. So this one would be a min, this one would be a max, and this one would be another min. So the next thing we do is plug it in. So since 0 would be considered a minimum, plug it in and it would be 0 over -6, so it'd be 0, 0. And then, oh, let me put this up here. Okay. So it'd be 0, 0. And then plug in 2 next. So it'd be 4 divided by 0, which is undefined. Which would mean that I would have to do something about that. So I could factor out a 3 there, and then it would be x minus 3. So it would be 4 divided by -3. So that one would be 2, and -4 over 3 over 3. And then the last one would be plugging in 4. So when I plug in 4, I get 16 divided by 6, which would be the same as saying 8 divided by 3. So that would be 4 8/3. So from that point, I get to choose my relative maxima, or my absolute maxima and minima. So I would say that the min would be 4 8/3. Then the max would be 3 3. And 6 3. And I checked my answers, and somehow I got the right answer, which is crazy. So, yeah, still stuck. Don't understand how I got the right answer. So that's it.